Now, those who believe are not really friends of American democracy. That's obvious. So we have to have our ears cleaned out and our eyes washed out so we know who's adversary and who is friendly to or supportive of the Constitution of this United States, which I'm wondering if anybody is really listening to what the Constitution is saying and living from that. Because these days the Constitution is what you defy, right? If you don't know any better, you defy the Constitution and you allow things to run amok. Because who cares? Who cares? No one has any appetite for truth all of a sudden? Well, that's not true. Well, we can do better than that. We're deeper than that. It's not about being better than that. Are you deep enough to come from the heart place, which is not about disgrace and confusion, deception, and anger. Yeah. Anger. Okay. And it's not even legitimate anger. Yeah. It's false anger. It's make-believe anger. Being against the people of this country, right? Because they are what? You're angry because you think you're superior and they're inferior? Oh, that's about as anti-Christian as ever. Right? Who did Jesus consider inferior? Did he ever speak of inferiority? I never saw it. I never heard it. He talked about the children. Send him the children, right? The meek, the poor people, the little people. Send them those who are humble, who needed help, who are crying and suffering. I heard that. I heard that. I didn't hear any arrogance beyond that. See? Humility in the Spirit, before the Spirit. See? We need more of that. We need more recognition of what that is, and more awakening to the capabilities we have to operate from a higher state of compassion. Right? It's needed on this planet, especially at this time, since the politicians have laid bare all the wealth of this country. Okay? And it's not about the virus. The virus in the mind. It's the mental virus of darkness. That is why the biologic virus is here. It has a correspondence, right? Right. It became so dark here, so low, and deprived here. Oh, the virus could reign. The virus rules. See, disease rules because the mind is diseased here now, and the heart is diseased at the top. Mental disease, heart disease, hatred is a mental and heart disease, cardiac. So that's obvious to some of us humble people. See, we can change that. No one needs to be that. See, we all have an opportunity to be that if we choose. But should we be that? Who are we serving? Who's really gaining from that? The ego? Did Jesus ever say ego is important? Didn't he say something like, give what is to Caesar back to Caesar, and give what is God's, and by that we mean the Holy Spirit, what is of God, see? Something like that, right? So we can reflect and go deeper if we choose to do that, and turn ourselves around towards the spiritual and the higher consciousness that we were endowed with, right, by the Spirit. Right. Not by ignorance and beliefs that are not really of the Spirit, but about Spirit from someone's point of view, but not really about Spirit. See? Jesus' words are close enough to what I understand the Spirit to be. They're not Caesar's or the Romans' words. See? And what we see out here is a whole other side of the reality, which we call is more Roman-like, but not enlightened Roman-like, but deprived. See? Warmongering, see? arrogance, belligerence, say, and weakness in spirit. Strength in ego, but weak in spirit. The weak in spirit, right? When you hear them speak, you want to turn away and say, that's not it. That's not it. See? And for those who are without guidance and direction and light, they may have nothing better to listen to beyond their political leaders, which they assume or are made to believe are telling the truth. Now is the time to go democratic for the people, before the people, not those who don't need, but for those who do need, see, from inside the heart, see, who need help, see, who are the test before everybody who is so full of themselves, so wealthy, see, and so impoverished in spirit. They're so wealthy, well, they don't need to turn, they don't need to see the people Jesus talked about. They're so wealthy, so full of themselves. They are blind to what Jesus did here and what he would have people do now, beyond the idea of this is 2,000 years later. The heart hasn't changed. His words haven't changed. Let's get with the program. Wake up. Do the right thing. See? Tell the darkness to go where it came from and bring on the light of spirit. Love always you.